our speaker today. It works with a recognized global leader in the luxury small ship expedition space called Aqua Expeditions. They explore the world's most wildlife and culture-rich destinations across the globe. Their best-in-class vessels are stylish contemporary design and offer some unbelievable crew-to-guest ratio that provides personalized service and a fantastic overall experience. The Director of Sales for North America is our guest speaker today. I'd like to introduce her to you. She's not only a great professional in the industry, she's a personal friend of Bon Voyage Travel and works very closely with our advisors to make sure that all the travelers that are going with Aqua Expeditions have all their expectations exceeded. Her name is Monica Winesoft. I'd like to introduce her to you now. Monica, thanks for joining us on our webinar series.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ryan and Bon Voyage Travel, for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I'm excited to spend a little bit of time with everybody that's tuned in today. So thank you for choosing to spend some time with us to learn a bit more about Aqua Expeditions. As Ryan mentioned, we are a preferred partner with Bon Voyage Travel and work very closely with their team of advisors to incorporate our incredible small ship expedition trips into your travel itineraries. So they're an incredible team of advisors, and you're definitely in good hands when working with them. So I'll start today by just taking you through a little bit of an introduction of Aqua Expeditions. As Ryan said, my name is Monica. I'm our Director of Sales based here in Los Angeles. Aqua Expeditions, though, is actually based in Lima with our headquarters in Singapore. So we are a global brand with international offices. The company actually started in 2007 on the Peruvian Amazon, and we have since grown organically, and we're small but mighty with a global representation of yachts and river cruises. So in a nutshell, just to tell you a little bit about who we are, Aqua Expeditions offers customized luxury travel experiences aboard vessels of elegant contemporary design, centered around immersive culture and wildlife experiences that are unique to each destination that we offer. And we also feature award-winning cuisine by renowned chefs, personalized guest service, and of course, always have a focus on our commitment to community, sustainability, and preservation. And as I mentioned, our company was founded in 2007, and we are a small, privately owned boutique luxury river and yacht cruise company. This is our founder, Francesco Galli Zugaro. He's based in Singapore. His heritage is Italian-American, so he's very much a global citizen and has devoted the last 13 plus years to building an incredible brand with Aqua. He's very personally involved in the day-to-day operations with the company, so you can rest assured knowing that from the top down, everyone that works for Aqua is truly invested in creating this incredible travel experience for you. So as I mentioned, we are on a few incredible destinations around the world. We launched 13 years ago on the Amazon River in Peru, where we have the Aria. And this fall, later this year, we'll actually be launching a second vessel on the Amazon. It's such an important destination for us, and one that we continue to sell out again and again. So we'll be adding a second vessel to the Amazon River called the Aqua Nera. We also have a river cruiser on the Mekong River sailing between Vietnam and Cambodia, and that's the Aqua Mekong, of course. And just last year, we launched our first ever coastal yacht, which is the Aqua Blue, sailing in Indonesia. So of course, that gives us then our 3 river cruises and our 1 yacht expedition, the Aqua Blue. Regardless of how you choose to travel with Aqua, you can count on these kind of 5 pillars of distinction for the Aqua Expeditions brand and the experience. It's truly what sets us apart and what ensures that we provide you with tailor-made experiences with every destination. So you'll always find wildlife and adventure components we've woven into every itinerary. So whether that's spotting pink dolphins on the Amazon or diving among the coral reef in Raja Ampat, there's definitely wildlife and adventure opportunities everywhere we go. Heritage and culture, of course, is an important part of every destination, and we like to get up close and personal with local villages and local communities. And because of our small size and our limited guest to guide ratio, we make sure that everything we do is in small groups so that it's not only a truly authentic experience for you, but it's also respectful and thoughtful to the local communities. We also partner with world-renowned chefs on each of our vessels. and I'll tell you a little bit more about them later. Of course, tailor-made service is important with any travel experience, and we make sure that on board all of our vessels, it's a 1-to-1 guest-to-crew ratio, and all of our excursions, again, are conducted in groups of just 8 or 10 guests per guide. So you can count on having a very personalized, high-touch experience on board. And last but not least, our contemporary design. And as I'll showcase to you a couple of our vessels, you'll see that each is designed with beautiful, modern, fresh, contemporary design elements. So the first of our vessels that I want to introduce you today, and our first stop on our sort of global expedition jaunt around the globe here, is going to be the Aqua Blue in Indonesia. So we're actually the first and only, if you can believe it, the first and only expedition yacht that sails year-round in Indonesia. And the way we're able to accomplish this is by moving our vessel across 3 distinct regions. So you'll see photographed here at the top, you've got Raja Ampat, which is the #1 dive and snorkel site in the world. You've also got the Spice Islands, which brings a really unique historical component to Indonesia. And then, of course, you've got Komodo National Park, which we all know will be famous for the Komodo dragons, but also offers so much more. And to really kind of put into perspective how big Indonesia is and to show you where we operate, this map, of course, highlights the entire region. Indonesia, what most people don't know, we often think of Indonesia, we think of Bali, but there's so much more. Indonesia is actually comprised of over 17,000 islands. And so you've got so much diversity with the experiences available just within this destination. And I love putting it into this perspective to really showcase to you just how big and vast the Indonesian region is. And of course, as I mentioned, we're visiting 3 key areas, and that includes Komodo National Park, the Spice Islands, and Raja Ampat. So our first stop will be in Komodo. So of course, the first thing that comes to mind here and what tends to steal the limelight are going to be those Komodo dragons. They're the largest lizards on Earth, and yes, you'll have an opportunity to see them in the wild, in their natural element when you travel with us. Because of the size of our vessel, we're allowed to go into smaller islands, away from the crowds, away from the national park, so you really get to see the wildlife in its natural element. But in the Komodo region, you also have so much more to offer. There's beautiful, soaring, breathtaking hills and great for trekking and hiking. As you see in the upper right-hand photo, one of my favorites, you've got the opportunity to swim, dive, or snorkel with blue whale sharks. So just plenty of opportunities both in the water and out. So the Komodo season is a 6-month season. We sail here from April to September. So every year, departing every Saturday, we have a 7-night itinerary between the months of April to September. It's directional sailing right out of Bali. So your Bon Voyage travel advisor can help put together all of the arrangements for you with your flights in to Denpasar, and then you can quickly connect and board with us. Alternatively, you could sail the opposite direction, where you would do a quick flight from Bali to the island of Flores, and then you board the vessel and sail 7 nights in reverse. The itineraries are mirror of each other, exactly the same, so you don't need to choose one over the other. It will just depend on what works best with your travel logistics. But it's a beautiful destination. As I said, you've got ancient volcanic activity that's really created just these beautiful sculpting hills. It's, again, great for hiking, great for trekking, an incredible destination to explore. After our Komodo season ends, we need to move the vessel, of course, to the next destination. And so what we've done is created these really special 12-night itineraries. And we offer 4 of these each year. And what they do is they connect 2 of the regions that we visit. So at the end of the Komodo season, it's time to move to the Spice Islands. So we've created this 12-night itinerary that departs out of Labuan Bajo, sails through the Forgotten Islands, aptly named because nobody really goes there, which means you can count on incredible, remote, isolated, private island experiences. And then we reach the Spice Islands. Now, this is one of my favorite things about Indonesia, and I learned so much when we launched this vessel. I learned so much about this destination. The Spice Islands was once the sole source of nutmeg, cinnamon, and mace for the world. So it became very valuable back in the 16th and 17th century. So there's a lot of history here. It was settled and taken over by the Dutch, who operated the spice trade route. So in addition to the indigenous Indonesian culture and history, you're going to find a lot of European relics and Dutch history as well. So for those of you out there that are thinking, oh, Indonesia is beautiful, the water is nice, but I like a little bit more of a cultural component, this would be the perfect itinerary for you, because it's going to weave in together history and cultural experiences along with some beautiful natural experiences and marine biodiversity. So this is a very limited 2-month season. So during the month of October and November, we'll be sailing for 7 nights in the Spice Islands. You'll access this through from a flight connecting from Jakarta. And again, your Bon Voyage travel advisor can take care of all those flight details for you, so don't worry about that. But it's an incredible destination, and again, a strong historical component, but great for those looking for the swimming and the diving and the snorkeling and all of those hiking and trekking and kayaking and water-based activities. It's really the perfect balance of both. Once again, it's time to move our vessel. So we then have created, this is actually my favorite itinerary, 12-night itinerary. It will depart every year in late November, early December as the season of the Spice Islands ends, sailing from Ambon up to Raja Ampat. So here you've got a really incredible combination of the historical side of Indonesia with the Spice Islands, and then you, of course, have Raja Ampat. And for those that don't know Raja Ampat, this is actually probably one of nature's most beautiful masterpieces. It's completely untouched by tourism, and it's the most marine biodiverse place on the planet. So it actually has over 1,300 species of fish, and 3/4 of the type of coral in the world are found here in Raja Ampat. So for those of you that enjoy swimming and snorkeling and diving, this is a great destination. You're going to absolutely love the time you spend in the water. But not to be overlooked, of course, are all the activities above the water level. So again, lots of hiking and trekking. You've got beautiful mangrove forests, and of course, a number of endangered bird species here, including the Wilsons and the red birds of paradise. So again, totally untouched by tourism. Very, very limited ways to access and experience this destination. And of course, going by luxury yacht with us is an incredible way to do it, because you're able to access all of these remote islands, as you see on this map. So again, it's a 7-night itinerary every Saturday. And the months that we operate in Raja Ampat are December, January, and February. So each Saturday, December, January, and February, we'll be sailing 7 nights, round trip out of Sarang. And again, your Bon Voyage travel advisor can take care of the flights from Jakarta to get you there. Beautiful, incredible destination. Again, birds of paradise, jungle caves, mangrove forests, truly nature untouched by tourism. And then again, we'll have a 12-night itinerary. There's actually 2. So the first one, the reverse of the one I showed you previously, mid to late February each year, we'll combine Raja Ampat with the Spice Islands. And then once again, the Spice Islands with the Forgotten Islands and into Flores. And then of course, we start the whole thing all over again. So we are continuously moving our vessel, of course, to stay ahead of the monsoon season and to position the Aqua Blue in the best destination, best region during the best weather, best time of year. But you can always count on us sailing, like I said, every Saturday, a 7-night sailing, with the exception of our 4 12-night sailings that are really special. Regardless of which destination you choose, and you might find that after you experience one, you want to come back for one of the other destinations. We have seen that already happening. But regardless of which one you choose, you can count on a number of adventures available, including hiking, trekking, bird watching, snorkeling, kayaking, and much more. Now, I have mentioned diving a couple times, so if there's any divers out there, you're probably wondering, what does that entail? Well, we do offer diving in all 3 of the regions, in KOMODO, Spice Islands, and Raja Ampat. It's an opportunity to dive among some of the best dive sites in the world. But if you're not a diver, don't worry. Most of our guests actually aren't divers. We're not a live aboard. We are a luxury leisure yacht with a diving component. Diving is included in the fare. There's no additional charge. We just ask that you already be certified before you join us for diving. And our dives are always limited to just 8 divers at one time. So that leaves 22 other guests. It's a maximum occupancy of 30 guests, so 22 other guests doing snorkeling and other activities. So I like to say this is the perfect combination. If you have people traveling and some are divers and maybe some are not, it's a great option for you. Of course, cultural experiences within the Spice Islands especially, but also in the other regions that we visit. And our ongoing commitment to marine conservation, sustainability, and community outreach is something that we'll share with you when you're on board with us, and you'll have an opportunity to learn about the local communities and, of course, engage with the local people as well. Now, the gourmet experience for me is one of the most important things about sailing with us, and we've partnered with Chef Benjamin Cross, who's created actually over 100 recipes for a 7-night sailing that showcase the journey basically of the spice trade route. So he's incorporating a lot of those ancient spices that are tied to the old spice trade route, and has created just an incredible menu, a lot of fresh, locally sourced ingredients, and lots of variety. And of course, I just have to share a few of their favorite images to really bring the experience to life for you. So it's very remote. You're out there, you're going out for twice daily excursions with fellow travelers and really just exploring the destination in depth. This is our vessel taking you there. This is the Aqua Blue. It's actually the first expedition yacht permanently based in Indonesia with year-round departure dates. And it's also the first steel-hulled expedition yacht. So for those of you that have cruised, you probably know what stabilizers are, and you know that the more stable the ship is, the better your experience is going to be. The Aqua Blue actually has state-of-the-art stabilizers. They're called Quantum Zero, so you feel little to no movement anytime we sail. The important thing about that is that means that we can sail in the evenings while guests are on board, perhaps having dinner, without disrupting guest comfort. And what that allows us to do then is make sure that we're anchored during the day so that you're out exploring, not spending days at sea. It's a beautiful vessel. It was actually built in 1968 as part of the British Royal Navy, and then it was converted into a private yacht. So the vessel itself has an astounding history. And then, of course, we've given it our special touch with partnering with an interior design firm and creating, of course, beautiful modern contemporary design on board. You'll find 5 decks across the vessel, and again, a maximum of 30 guests on board in 15 of our design suites. And here's just a glimpse into one of our suites for you. So everything that you would expect and anticipate from a small luxury boutique hotel, of course, floating at sea in the beautiful region of Indonesia. Lots of flexibility for dining on board, for indoor, outdoor, and of course, we love celebrating special occasions with you and do everything that we can to celebrate you while you're on board. So that is our Aqua Blue. And now we're going to do a quick jump over to Southeast Asia, to Cambodia and Vietnam, where we have, of course, the Aqua Mekong. Switching gears from a yacht to a river cruise, the Aqua Mekong sails in 2 of my personal favorite countries. But what we try to do is really showcase a different side of Cambodia and Vietnam. So oftentimes people travel to this destination and they visit the cities and they visit the hillsides and they visit the beaches, but they forget about the incredible culture that is on the Mekong River. Here you actually have about 2,000 years of human history. The river itself flows for 4,300 kilometers, starting in the Tibetan plateaus of China and coming down through Cambodia and Vietnam. And you've got over 60 million people that actually just live on the river. And that actually includes over 100 different ethnic groups within the Vietnamese and Cambodian cultures. So what that, of course, amounts to is an incredibly diverse cultural experience and something that's very different than anywhere else that you're going to go in Vietnam or Cambodia. When it comes to looking at our vessel as a river cruise on the Mekong River, we want you to think of it not as a standalone river cruise, but really as a component to a customized itinerary. Again, your Bon Voyage travel advisor can build that personalized itinerary for you that incorporates all of the places you want to go in Vietnam and Cambodia, as well as spending some time on board with us. So our sailings are available in 3-night, 4-night, and 7-night durations. So as you're working with your travel advisor to build that custom itinerary, you can build in how many days you'd like to spend on the river with us. It's a nice way to break up an itinerary. It changes the monotony of moving hotels as you're bouncing from city to city. You come on board, you unpack once into our luxury boutique floating hotel, and you let our vessel do the transportation for you. So you're still getting this incredible experience just on a floating hotel. So just a little snapshot of some of the experiences awaiting for you. So in Vietnam and Cambodia, you're going to find, again, lots of interactions with local people. And I mentioned early on that we do all of our excursions in small groups. And on the Mekong, it's especially important because we are visiting these very remote villages. And in some cases, we're even visiting floating villages, as you see in that top right-hand photo. We have kayaks on board and our motorized skiffs that allow us to run our excursions on such a private and intimate basis. So you can literally paddle right up to the front porch of these local homes and get to know and get to interact with the local people. We also offer, we have a fleet of bicycles on board. So for those that like to experience the destination a little more active, we have biking. So you can do biking every day, twice a day. For those that don't want to bike or want to mix it up, maybe they bike one morning and not bike that afternoon, that's okay. We always conduct our excursions by motorized tuk-tuk as well. So you have a lot of variety in terms of how you're going to experience the destination. And the important thing to mention too is the way we're able to accomplish that is by being the only vessel on the entire river to have our own fleet of private speedboats. So what that does, it allows us to drop those in the water and go explore the destination whenever we want. So for those of you that have been on a river cruise, it's an incredible way to travel. It gets you up close to the destination. But the key difference with us is that you're not tied in or on set shore excursions that start and end at a certain time and you're limited to this and you sign up in advance. It's not the case with us. It's very flexible. You can decide each day how you want to experience the destination and really choose your adventure as you go. So I mentioned we have 3, 4, and 7-night itineraries. There's actually 10 different itineraries. I'm not going to go too deep into those, but this shows you our 7-night sailing during high water season. So this is from Ho Chi Minh to Siem Reap. So this would be the longest and most inclusive itinerary that we have. 7 nights from Ho Chi Minh to Siem Reap, or it's offered in reverse. Now, if anyone's familiar with this destination, you may know that sometimes the water levels can prohibit how far we can sail into Siem Reap, into Cambodia, and if we can navigate through Tonle Sap Lake. There's a lot of river cruises on the river that do this and they sail year round. And typically what they do when you can't sail through the river is that they will stop in Kampong Cheng, which you'll see on the map there right about in the middle, disembark guests, and then they'll provide a bus transfer to Siem Reap. For Aqua Expeditions, we never want to put our clients on a bus, especially for 4 hours in the countrysides of Cambodia. So what we do instead is during low water season, we actually sail up to Kampong Cheng and we explore that incredibly remote and pastoral and beautiful side of Cambodia. And then we loop back down to the city of Phnom Penh, where you then disembark and we provide a complimentary flight for you from Phnom Penh to Siem Reap so that you can continue on with your Cambodian experience. We know everybody wants to get to Siem Reap, of course, to see the incredible temples of Angkor Wat. So just a couple important things to keep in mind as you're looking at different river cruise options on the Mekong. Of course, whichever itinerary you choose, whether it's 3 nights, 4 nights, 7 nights, upriver, downriver, high water, low water, whichever one you choose, you'll have all of these adventures waiting for you, as well as, of course, tons of cultural experiences. Some of my favorite travel experiences have been bike riding on the countrysides of Cambodia and just stopping along the way and getting to know the local people. They're so warm and welcoming. They want to invite you into their homes and feed you and take care of you. And it's just such a really special and incredible experience. And of course, the destination itself, we're very committed to the communities that we visit and within the destinations that we travel to. One of my favorite programs that we participate in is actually in Cambodia, and it's called Room to Read. And it actually provides literary education to the local children. And then we actually take it a step further and focus fully on advancing the education opportunities for the young girls of Cambodia. So that's just one of many of the community outreach and sustainability efforts that we have. It's one of my favorites. Of course, our gourmet experience really makes the Southeast Asia experience one of the best. We have partnered with David Thompson, who is a very well-known Southeast Asian focused culinary genius. He actually has earned himself a Michelin star as well as a James Beard Award, and he's the executive chef at one of the top hotels in Bangkok. So he designs our menu, trains our staff, and we deliver an incredible culinary experience on board. And this, of course, is our Aqua Mekong. So it's, again, 20 suites for a maximum of 40 guests. All of those suites feature these floor-to-ceiling Mekong-facing windows. You've got spacious rainforest showers. We have interconnecting family suites which can also be converted into a suite that is double its size. So there's a lot of opportunities there for those looking for suite accommodations. But beautiful interiors, again, 3 decks. So you've got 10 rooms on either of the first and second decks, and then some beautiful, well-appointed public spaces throughout, and primarily on the 3rd deck. This is a glimpse inside our design suites. So again, they either have a balcony, as you see here, or no balcony. So as you can see, the room is slightly larger without the balcony, but this is my favorite room type because you get a little bit more extra room inside. And if you look really closely, you'll see that those sliding glass doors are actually open. So it sort of provides you with that Juliet balcony to be able to open the doors, let some of the fresh air in. But beyond that difference, all of the suites are exactly the same. Very spacious, well-appointed bathrooms, full walk-in showers. Of course, we provide all of the toiletries. They're all organic and locally made, as with all of our vessels. And of course, beautiful, well-appointed spaces throughout the vessel. This one even has a full gym. So if those twice daily bike rides aren't enough for you, you've got the opportunity for a little exercise on board. And lots of outdoor space that we can use both during the day and night. And lastly, my favorite place, our infinity plunge pool, right there at the bow of the vessel overlooking the mighty Mekong River. And of course, no luxury experience is complete without spa treatments, in my opinion. And as a client of Bon Voyage Travel, you're actually entitled to a complimentary massage per person on each of our vessels. And on the Aqua Mekong, we have a full spa with 2 treatment rooms. So last but not least, we're taking a big jump over to South America, to the country of Peru. Again, this is where Aqua Expeditions got its start in 2007 in the Peruvian rainforest. So the Amazon rainforest actually stretches across 9 countries in South America. And it actually has the world's largest and most diverse collection of plant and animal life. More than 1/3 of all recorded animal species in the world are in the Amazon in South America. So for those that have been on African safari or perhaps have explored Antarctica, this should be something that's on your list. It's great for those that want that very remote, pristine, untouched destination that's chock full of wildlife experiences. Just giving you a little bit of explanation in terms of where we are, because I did say that Amazon stretches across 9 countries. We are in the country of Peru only, sailing out of Iquitos. And for those that are traveling to Peru, you're often thinking of Machu Picchu as the place to go, which is great. Every trip should include Machu Picchu if you're visiting Peru. But beyond that, you of course have the Amazon, and it pairs so well with a visit to Machu Picchu. So there's actually nonstop flights from Lima or from Cusco, Cusco being the gateway to Machu Picchu. So you can really easily see how you can incorporate this into a complete Peru itinerary. And again, we offer 3, 4, and 7-night sailings so that you can do that in a way that fits your desired travel duration and your interests. And once again, your Bon Voyage travel advisor will be the expert at putting together that complete itinerary that incorporates Lima, Cusco, Machu Picchu, the Sacred Valley, the Amazon, and anywhere else you want to go in Peru. That flight is less than 2 hours also, so it's quick and easy to get around between Lima and Iquitos, which is our gateway to the Amazon, or from Lima to Iquitos. Specifically within the Amazon rainforest of Peru, we are in the Pacaya Samira Reserve, which is actually the 2nd largest protected area in the entire Amazon region. And it's the birthplace of the Amazon River. So if I go back to this slide, and if you look closely, you see that V that's in that white circle, that's the Pacaya Samira Reserve. And where those 2 rivers are coming together, that's the Maranon River and the Ucayali River, they're forming the Amazon River, which then of course flows into Brazil and into the Atlantic Ocean. So by visiting the Peruvian Amazon, again, you're visiting one of the most protected areas, which means a lot of wildlife to be seen, and you're getting to visit the birthplace of the actual Amazon River. You've got a bird lover's paradise here with close to 500 different recorded species of birds, lots of monkeys and other mammals, pink dolphins, just so many wildlife experiences, as well as a pristine rainforest awaiting as well. So I mentioned we'll be launching the Aquanera, launching later this year in 2020. The Aquanera will be the newest build, most state-of-the-art vessel on the Amazon River. It's definitely going to be at the top of its class for the river cruise options, particularly for the Amazon. We will continue our partnership with our world-renowned chef, who is Chef Pedro Miguel Schiaffino. And of course, always incorporating our one-to-one guest-to-staff ratio and operating our excursions in small groups of just 10 guests per guide. You've got plenty of space to move around on the Aquanera with suites, 10 suites on the first deck, 10 suites on the second deck. So again, a maximum of 40 guests on board in 20 designed suites. And our design concept is really inspired. Nera actually means black in Italian. And if you remember, I told you the founder of Aqua was Italian American. So it's a little bit of a nod to his heritage, but also it was inspired by the black water lagoons of the Amazon. So you've got kind of intentionally dark and moody backdrops here that really draw in and play up the green and the brightness and the color coming in from the outside. And I just love these suites. Very spacious, all 322 square feet, modern luxury amenities throughout. So just some beautiful spaces. Now, in terms of the itinerary, I mentioned 3, 4, and 7 night sailings. Again, operating year-round, 3, 4, or 7 nights during low water or high water season, regardless of which you choose. Low water season is June to October. High water season is November to May. Don't equate that with high season or low season. It is truly a year-round destination, and you'll have an incredible experience visiting the Amazon, regardless of which time of year you choose. Some of the wildlife patterns and habits will change a bit, but you'll still have those same wildlife viewing opportunities. So this, of course, is showing you our 7-night itinerary, but don't forget we have 3 and 4 night sailings as well. You can incorporate that into your Peru itinerary. And last but not least, the Aria Amazon. Of course, the Aquanera will be joining the Aria Amazon on the Amazon River. This is our beautifully designed Aria, designed specifically for this destination. You know, the nice thing about the Amazon River is that it's quite narrow where we are in the Pacaya Samira Reserve. So you can always see the rainforest just beyond. And so so our 2 ships on the Amazon are certain to have full floor to ceiling windows and lots of glass so that you can always have a great view to the outside, but be comfortably inside with air conditioning. And this is our vessel, the Aria. Upscale, sophisticated, but always casual on board. Again, all of your meals are included. We also include, this is on all vessels, we also include beer and wine throughout the day, any time of day, not just during meals. So you can come on board after your excursion, relax in our top deck lounge with a glass of wine or perhaps one of our custom-made iced teas. And again, beautiful, spacious accommodations with those full floor-to-ceiling windows looking out onto the Amazon beyond. Itineraries are identical to the Aquanera, just departing on different days of the week. So you actually have 4 different days of the week to choose from for departures. And again, 3, 4, and 7 night sailings as you explore what I like to call is a South American safari experience. So regardless of how you choose to visit the Amazon with us, you can count on having these range of adventure options, as well as cultural experiences and local interactions. And of course, being the birthplace of Aqua Expeditions, our ties to the local communities here are very important, and we participate in a number of conservation and sustainability efforts. Actually, one of my favorites here is our Tokaia Turtle Project, where we actually help to restore the Tokaia turtle population in the river. And at our port in the Amazon, we actually have a turtle restoration project set up. So if you travel with us during certain times of the year, you can participate in that as well. And of course, no experience to the Amazon would be complete without enjoying some incredible Peruvian cuisine. Chef Pedro Miguel actually has 2 restaurants in Lima, one of which was just named top 50 restaurants in all of Latin America. So he's created an amazing menu that offers Peruvian cuisine, but with an Amazonian influence and technique. And those 2 vessels are identical with the exception of some of the public spaces and amenities on board, but you can always count on the same quality guest experience. You will have 2 different price points to choose from. So depending on the days of the week you want to sail, your dates of travel, your preferences for onboard amenities and your budget, we have a choice for you in the Amazon. And I'll just go ahead and wrap up here by sharing with you some of our new offers and promotions. Of course, to obtain the best rates and pricing and availability, you'll want to go through your Bon Voyage travel advisor. They have access to our best rates and promotions. But a couple special things that we're doing are, of course, our hosted departures. So for those of you that want to really focus on the culinary aspect of our experience, you can travel with one of our chefs. This is just a sample of our hosted departure with Chef David Thompson, but we also have hosted departures this year, next year, every year actually, with each of our chefs on board Aqua Blue, the Aqua Mekong, the Aria Amazon, and the Aqua Nera. And we just launched some new exclusive offers and promotions. So for those of you that might consider travel at the end of this year, we do have a special Sail More, Save More promotion. And also for those that are here to dream and plan and book and plan ahead for next year, we've got an early bird promotion in place as well that gives you a 20% savings on our sailings next year. Now, of course, we know that it's unusual times right now, but we do want you to continue, as Ryan said, continue to dream and plan so that you have something to look forward to in the future. And as a result, we have rolled out these flexible booking terms and conditions. So keep in mind when you contact your Bon Voyage travel advisor, they can go over all the specifics with you, but just know that we have rolled out, we've acknowledged that planning presents some challenges right now. We've acknowledged that and have rolled out this flexible booking policy that allows you to confirm and plan your travel now. And if you should need to make changes next year, we can accommodate those without any penalty. And last but not least, we have, of course, rolled out a number of new health and safety protocols on board in our now COVID-19 world. So this is just a brief snapshot outlining some of the protocols. Many of them were already in place, of course, but we're just highlighting some of the things that we're doing to give you that added reassurance when you come on board with us. So that is it from my side. Ryan, I can go ahead and turn it back over to you if you have any questions.
Yeah, that's great. Monica, a very good presentation. You got hopefully here on the Zoom room, very excited about destinations, but more importantly, the way in which you get to the destinations. And I thought I would summarize a couple of things before I get to the questions of topics that I heard and that really with me. So if I were to capture an experience with Aqua Expeditions, I mean, the word authentic just comes to mind. It is an immersive experience just from the cultural touches, and it's intentional. It's not just happenstance. And a lot of times cruise partners of ours that are wonderful partners, the cultural experiences just happen. And those are great. I love the spontaneous kind, but you are intentional by trying to connect travelers with the local people in regards to the culture, the gourmet food experiences, love the sustainability topics that you're addressing. That creates an overall authentic experience. And then the other word that came to mind was personal. The ship experience, the hands-on service, the touch that your crew would provide from excursions to food delivery to everything and then some with their time with you on Aqua Expeditions just felt so personal. And in this day and age, I think we're all needing more authentic experiences outside of the four walls that we have now. I want to immerse in a different culture. But we're also looking for that handheld experience because things do happen. Things may be outside of our control. So I want to be with a smaller group and I want a lot of people there to help me, and Aqua Expeditions provides that. We do have a few questions that have been asked, so I'd like to just address and see if you could touch on those. And you may have already touched on them, but just to reiterate, I heard hiking and trekking and some diving thrown in there, some bicycling opportunities. Are these excursions really appropriate for all? What's kind of the fitness level that you would expect or that a traveler would need to have to participate fully in these experiences?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it does vary a bit between the three destinations that we visit. I think with Indonesia and with Aqua Blue, you're going to want to have some level of, active and adventurous spirit because you are going to want to be, out on foot, going through, hiking through forest, but, and getting into the water. But a lot a lot of the terrain can be very flat and manageable. So you don't need to be, a super fit person to be able to embrace, your adventurous spirit and enjoy that destination. With the Mekong, you can choose, do you want to be active or do you not? Or maybe you want to be a little bit active and a little not active. If you're like me, my perfect day on the Mekong is to do the bike ride in the morning, but then take it easy in the afternoon. Or even halfway through the bike ride, decide that I overcommitted myself, and then they pull up a tuk-tuk and you can end your bike ride. And so, yeah, so the nice thing is, as you mentioned, we're doing everything in very small groups, and we can be very personalized with each guest experience. And so we can kind of modify the level of activity per guest. Now with the Amazon, it's pretty low activity. If you can step off the vessel and into our motorized skiff, which is just 3 steps down, you'll be able to enjoy that destination with no problem. We incorporate biking in the town of Nauta and a jungle walk for those that want to do it. But absolutely, as long as you can get around, if you can get around our vessel, you're going to enjoy the Amazon. With the Mekong, you can kind of choose, do you want to be active, do you not? So that's a good one. With the Aqua Blue, it is going to be a bit more active.
If you have not ridden in a tuk-tuk, you don't know what you're missing. I would absolutely say. There was a couple other thoughts on in regards to the cruise fare. What does that include? So the excursions you mentioned, the great food you mentioned, what's included? What's an add-on? What can I expect when I step on board?
Yeah, we're mostly inclusive. So starting from the port of embarkation, we will in most cases, meet you at that port, transfer you to the vessel, at the airport, transfer you to the vessel. Once you're on board, all of your meals, all of your activities, of course, the accommodations, any taxes, park fees, anything like that, anything related to the excursions and activities is included. We include beer and wine, and we have a very nice selection. I like to elaborate on this because for me, that's an important part of the travel experience. And you don't necessarily just want a house red or a house white. You like to have choice. So we actually have on board each of our vessels, we include 6 varietals of wine. So you have red, white, in some cases a rosé, and a sparkling. So you have choice of 6 or 7 varietals of wine, as well as local beers. We do have a full bar on board with cocktails available for purchase, but they're all very reasonably priced. We're not necessarily looking to make onboard revenue here, just cover our costs. So, and then beyond that, the spa treatments. But of course, booking through Bon Voyage Travel, you do get a complimentary spa treatment. So really it comes down to just alcohol, spa treatments, and then gratuities, which are at your discretion.
Outstanding. That's a great description. If I'm a solo traveler, that's now traveling by myself, what are some options for me? Are there any breaks? Are there any different things that are offered to me as a solo traveler?
Good question. We love our solo travelers, and it's such a great experience if you are traveling alone, because you come on board and you're with like-minded guests, that have the same interests and usually, the same kind of travel experiences. So it's a great group setting to come together and to be able to have that camaraderie and to make new friends. And of course, you're always with our guides on your excursions. You always, will have somebody to sit with at dinner if you wish. So it's a really nice experience on board. We have one of the lowest single supplements that you'll find. It's 25% only, always, no matter what departure, which ship. However, we also do have some opportunities to waive that single supplement. So just as long as you go through your Bon Voyage travel advisor, we can extend that promotion on most occasions. So that's just a little secret for you all.
That's a great secret, and that's not applicable to all river cruise or other small ship experiences where the single supplement is waived, let alone even as low as you have it. Normally, even if it's not waived. One of our listeners wanted to know and said, I'm getting up in age. I'm turning 80, but not decrepit. And I'm using words, but he just asked, these cruises, are these really cruises for me? Is that something that you see someone like me on them, or is that too challenging?
No, absolutely. I think, it's totally true in the sense, the saying that, you know, age is a number. It's really up to your personal, you know, limitations and what you think you can do. And again, we really try to create a opportunity on board for guests to experience at different levels of adventure and activity. Every time I've been on board one of our vessels, I've seen children from age 8 up to 80 somethings. So we definitely cater to a broad range of travelers. The majority of our travelers, you know, are going to be in that kind of 40 to 70 age category, but everybody's pretty relatively active, perhaps like yourself, but maybe not looking to climb all the, you know, the steepest hikes and the steepest treks, but you will have opportunities to be as active as you wish. So absolutely, I would say, you know, if this is the type of experience that interests you, and we can always go into more detail about, you know, each day, what sort of activities might be involved. But absolutely, I think you would fit in just fine.
Well, if it helps Fred, one of our other listeners, Marlene, mentioned that she happens to be in her 70s and early 70s, I want to point out. And she said she would not hesitate to go on one of these cruises. So you have an ardent supporter in Marlene, but more importantly, you have a great partner in us. We love working with you. It's such a wonderful experience, and we just like to encourage all of our listeners to follow up. The next step that you should take is contacting your travel advisor here at the Bon Voyage office. Monica mentioned it. While there are itineraries in place, there are different options that you want to weigh, and what works for you may not work for someone else. So talking that through with your travel advisor here at Bon Voyage, let's make sure that we're getting exactly what you're looking for and actually doing more than what you ever thought you could. Monica, I'll leave with this one last question. It's never too early to book, right? So if someone says, oh, with this coronavirus thing, I'm not going anywhere this year, I'll wait to book because I don't want to go anywhere until maybe next September. Should they?
Mm-hmm. No, it's a good question. We are a company that doesn't often roll out many promotions. And for us, the sooner you do book, the better. You're going to get the best pricing and the best promotion options by booking early. And as I mentioned, and I'll even, since I'm still sharing my screen, I'll go back to some of these promotions that we've outlined. We give you that opportunity to plan ahead. We know that it's an interesting time to be planning travel right now, but now is the time to plan for next year. And we've rolled out that early bird savings opportunity. But you won't see lower prices as you get closer to your departure date. So booking ahead is always encouraged.
It's the blessing and the curse. I always like to use this phrase. Small ship means limited number of beds. So if you see something you like, jump on it now. And Aqua Expeditions has provided great opportunities for flexibility in the deposits, the final payments, the plans, understanding the world that we live in. So we don't want to take up too much of everybody's day. I think we've covered all our questions from our viewers. Monica, that was a fantastic presentation. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Experience. I'd like to just encourage all of our viewers to go back to our website, bvtravel.com. The rest of July's weekly webinar series calendar is set and ready. Check it out. You might find something else that is intriguing to you and you want to spend some more time hanging out with us on a Wednesday afternoon. But that's all for us. Again, Ryan Hansen here, President with Bon Voyage Travel, thanking you on behalf of all of our advisors for your business. Thank you for joining us. Monica, appreciate you joining us too.